And so I'm going to repeat everything I just did because I want you to get the full effect of Debbie Barnett. And I'm going to give myself a little bit more light here so that you can see what the heck we're doing. If I can get... So anyway, so let me share with you, I'm Joella Newman, Entrepreneurs on the Rise. I have a life and business coaching company, and in coaching entrepreneurs, I ask them what are their biggest bottlenecks, what keeps them from succeeding, or what are their biggest successes. So when I have guests on Entrepreneurs on the Rise on Wednesday nights, generally at 7, but we had some internet glitches, it was an opportunity to really highlight someone who's had success as an entrepreneur. And this month, it's all about fun. It's all about lightening things up, especially since we're still in quarantine. And Debbie Barnett is a master at Mahjong. So she has a history of a lifelong passion to challenge herself with new and diverse experiences. Debbie Barnett embodies an entrepreneurial spirit that has led her to establish several successful businesses. And today she's writing and teaching Mahjong. Her first book, Unlocking the Secrets of American Mahjong, was published in October of 2019. And her second book, a memoir, is due out later this year. At the same time Debbie began writing her Mahjong book, she created and had developed the School of American Mahjong, the first time ever a live interactive online classroom where she now teaches Mahjong full-time. She loves playing Mahjong and has been doing it for almost 40 years. From a young child, as she watched her mother play the game with her friends, and by the time she was in her 20s, she was ready to give the game a try herself. So once she played, she was hooked. And in 2006, she began her teaching career because she wanted to share her love of the game by teaching others. And from there, the rest is history. Debbie currently co-administrates a few Facebook groups for Mahjong lovers. And then if you're interested, I have contacts for her, and I'll probably change the scroll at the bottom so that you all can have that. This was an opportunity to just reiterate what we started at 7 o'clock for those of you who are just coming on now, because on Entrepreneurs on the Rise, it really is an opportunity to highlight people who are doing great in entrepreneurship or have something to share with us. So because we're all still in the quarantine, the sequestration, can't be around everybody. I mean, some people are getting out, but for those of us who choose to still stay in, what are we going to do? So I thought it was really cool to start off May with someone who could lighten up the energy and talk to us about the game of Mahjong. So Debbie, welcome. I apologize about the internet connection, but it will probably eventually connect together between the two. And we do have people here. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Debbie, and talk about how you got into really teaching Mahjong, going from, just enjoying it to really forming a company all around Mahjong.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me, Joelle, and I really appreciate it. This is such an exciting opportunity to share my love of Mahjong with everybody out there. In April of 2019, I started writing a Mahjong book after playing for many, many years and teaching since 2006. I thought I would take it to a different level by getting my style of teaching out there to the world. So I did write a book, and it was published in October of last year. Around the same time I started to write a book, a very, very close friend of mine who, may she rest in peace, passed away this year from cancer, who was the most inspiring and most supportive girlfriend that, everybody should have one girlfriend like her in their lifetime. And she said to me, why don't you take your teaching to another level? Why don't you teach it online? And I thought, I'm not so sure that could be done. And she said, I bet if you put your mind to it, you'll figure out a way. I said, well, there are online game rooms out there where people play, but I would have to, do something very different and come up with something creative to actually be able to teach in a classroom that replicates a Mahjong board, or a mahjong
Right.
table, I should say.
Right.
So anyway, and of course, as you had mentioned, I have been playing for almost 40 years. When I started teaching in 2006, it was
Wow.
because I wanted to share my love of the game with others. And it is
Wow.
a fun, exciting, very challenging game to play. And I really encourage anybody who has never taken, or even attempted to learn the game. I know a lot of people hear about it and they're like, oh, I can't do it, it's too challenging. But honestly, it is well worth it if you put the time into learning the game. So anyway, I started this game development last April. I found a very, very smart gentleman in the Philippines who started developing for me. And by January of this year, the school opened. And what it is, I want to take people in and see the classroom, but I want to explain a little bit what this live interactive school is. So it does duplicate a feeling of being in the same room with someone, because just like you and I are sitting here talking on this platform, I do the same thing with people, and it can be done a variety of ways so that we could see and hear each other, which is separate from going into the school. It could be done, through FaceTime if everybody uses their iPhones. It could be done through Skype. It could be done through Zoom. There's so many free programs out there now so that you can get together and chat with your friends.
But that's what's so perfect about this time right now.
Yes.
Is that everything is online, and to have a teacher with it I'm sure there's people out there who it's like, what do I do? And how do I do it? And how do I win? And how does it make it competitive? Being, like I said, sequestered like this, everybody's stuck in their home, they're going crazy with each other, and maybe they're loving it. But still, at the end of the day, I can find a lot of things to fill up my time, but sometimes you just want to walk away and play and do something.
Right.
And so this is, when you talk about Skype and Zoom or on your phone, what a great opportunity to just, okay, I can learn mahjong with Debbie Barnett. How fun is that?
Yeah, it is a very exciting, thing it's never been done before. I did a lot of research, and unless I have missed it, I don't think there's any other live interactive school for mahjong out there in the world. I've just never been able to find anything like my school. There are other types of learning that are done on a gaming site and all, but not quite in that same feel of being right there with my students when I teach them, which is absolutely phenomenal. And I had said earlier, before we got cut off, that there have been people that have been hesitant to try it. Starting in January when I opened the school, I got a lot of resistance. Some people would be like, I'll never be able to do it. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to download Skype. I'm never going to understand the mechanics of, this classroom. And I, said to people, look, I'll walk you through it. If I have to hold your hand until you understand how to do this. We've been, the World Wide Web is not going away anytime soon. It's been a slow start. And then all of a sudden, COVID-19 came into the mix, and little did I know that I was going to find, I found many blessings in COVID-19, but one in particular was the growth of my online school, because all of a sudden people are responding to my social media posting, and they're like, oh my God, I haven't been able to play with my friends, or I wanted to learn at the senior center, I wanted to learn at the Jewish center, and I can't go do it. So I want to learn, and it just started growing and increasing, which is phenomenal. And I do would like to take people in so they could see how this whole classroom works. When you're ready, I have shared my screen, so you let me know.
Let's show.
Ready. Oh, perfect. Okay. So let me go ahead and move this over. Okay, so this is the classroom. I'm going to get the board really big. This is what the classroom looks like from the teacher's perspective. So when I'm in the classroom, I get to see all of these buttons here, which represents all 4 players. And when a student is looking at their classroom, they don't see this. They just see their classroom board. And these are the Mahjong tiles that are set up around the perimeter. And I'm going to just show you some of the little features of the dice rolling. And we've got people that were signed into this classroom previously. So I'm using an old classroom. And once everybody rolls the dice in Mahjong, the highest roller, who is the first player, or East, would roll again. And then the computer dishes out or deals out the tiles to the students. And so what the beauty of this is that while I'm on Skype or Zoom or FaceTime with everybody, we can all see each other and talk, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm able to go into each one of their hands and work with them. So for instance, if I'm in this person's name is Smelly Belly. I don't know where her little nickname came in, but it's very cute. If I want to help this student learn how to set tiles up, I have the ability to move the tiles around to get that to happen. And then when I'd be done with that student, I can go into Shelly, who is player 2 in this classroom, and I can do the same thing by clicking on this little red button and move the tiles around like this. And again, go into the next player and click my little red arrange button, move tiles around. And I'm just going to do this a little bit more and then show you the next phase of it. And then once everybody has their tiles in order, the next phase is a succession of passing called the Charleston. And I'm just going to click any. I'm not obviously creating an actual family of hands or anything right now, because I do want to show you some of the features. Once everybody's done and they've all clicked pass, the very first move, or the first move of what's called the Charleston, occurs. And this happens several times, actually 7 times, 6 that are required if the entire Charleston is completed, and 1 optional pass. And so it does this over and over again. And I'm just going to do it. I hope that we have time, because I'm going to try to go through. I didn't mean to do that, everybody. I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. And I am actually going to stop the Charleston, this succession of moves, at this point, so that I can speed this up to show you some of the other features. So I'm going to say no, and I'm going to say no for everybody. Although only one person says no, it stops. And then it goes directly to the optional across, and for the purpose of speeding it up, I'm just going to pick no tiles. And again, I'm controlling everybody's hand as well as they're going to be controlling their own hands. So if I'm sitting in this mode here, which says spectate mode, I can watch players do their thing once they are somewhat on their own, after I've taught them a lot of basics and they're feeling comfortable. But until they are comfortable, I'm able to go in each one of their hands and help them with it. So I might, tell them to pick this tile, hit the discard button, and everybody would name the tiles. And it goes through a succession like this of different things. I'm not going to go through every single feature, but it's mostly a picking and a discarding type of environment, including all of the other features of Mahjong, which again, I can't show you all of it, but there are some very cool features. But it just works real smoothly. As you could see, the board is very large. Matter of fact, if I click this little square at the bottom, usually it pops up and makes it even larger. I don't know. There we go. It makes it larger. The tiles are nice and big. They're easy to see. They're very easy to move around with the arrange button. And obviously nobody has Mahjong, but when they do, somebody would click on the Mahjong button, which means they won the game. So I'm going to do that if I can. Let's see if it'll let me do it even at this point. Let's see if I could click on Mahjong and make it happen. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so nobody really did Mahjong, but I just wanted to just show you what happens at the end when someone does win the game and all the hands are displayed so that I get to show everybody the different hands and go over them with each player. It's just a lot of fun. It's just such a great way to learn this, this game, this wonderful, very challenging, exciting game. So I am done sharing, Joellen, if you want to.
Perfect. Yes, thank you. So that was cool. Yes, I'm back. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can.
That was cool. There were parts of Mahjong that I had never learned before because, like I said, I just would do Mahjong online, and of course you're playing against yourself or against the computer, and it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, going to do that, but I didn't know about the Charleston or anything like that. So there's so many, and I knew there were so many more pieces to this that I was clueless.
Yeah, and not only that, we have a card that's issued every year. Mm-hmm. And there's so many hands on the card that you need to make one of them to complete Mahjong. And in addition to what you see on the card, there's over 700 hand variations, or at least last year, I think the number was 702. So that means you have an opportunity to pick that many, have that many choices in a hand to make. In addition to what you actually see on the card, there are several variations of each hand that can be made. My God. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's why it can be very complex. It uses your brain, I will tell you. So what I put at the bottom, you guys, is contact Debbie Barnett. I didn't put in her last name, and I didn't put in the www, but just go to facebook.com groups / ask the Mahjong teacher / and you'll at least get to her Facebook page and then find out more about the program. But this sounds so totally cool. So, here you are, you've taken a passion with Mahjong and really turned it into a job, turned it into a livelihood of now teaching it. And I love that you've got this online program all set up on your computer so that you can see everyone's hands and you can teach them through the whole process. So Lindy Eldridge earlier, she said, I always wanted to learn.
Come join us. We'd love to have you. And Joellen, I wanted to just say, announce 2 new things that are going to come out really probably within the next month or so at the School of American Mahjong. One of the things that I'm working on is a teaching portal. So I'm going to have a place for teachers to come in and train to learn how to teach the style that I teach, get a certificate, and then actually teach and earn money too. If they want to supplement their retirement income or have a little extra way to earn money, I'm going to expand that to teachers as well. And then the other thing I'm working on is a game room where people can go in after they've learned from me and sign up for a subscription to play in their very own private game room.
Oh, I love it.
With their friends. So those are 2 new things that are going to be developed and are in the works now. So
that's cool. So is this the best address that people should contact you, or should they go to mahjongteacher.com?
Well, the best way I think is if somebody's interested is maybe to email me, and my email is mahjongteacher@gmail.com. And it's I can spell that out if you want. Do you want me to type it in the host chat?
No, I got it.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably it's mahjongteacher1, the number 1 @gmail.com. That's probably of course they could go visit the school, which is www.mahjongteacher.com.
I think we'll keep it to 1 so that we don't confuse them. So let's do this. And so contact Debbie. Oh, it didn't change it yet. Well, isn't that interesting? Oh, I need to refresh. There we go. So at mahjongteacher1 @gmail.com. So that's perfect. So how long is actually a class that like each individual class, but the whole course? Is it a 6-week course or an 8-week or 2-week, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, there's I have several different classes. I have the beginner intensive class, which is a 4-hour session. So it is very intense. So for somebody who doesn't want to go on more than one day, their brain works that way, where they want to get it and absorb it all in one day. It's 4 hours. The next level for a beginner is the 4-day, 2-hour each session. So it's 8 hours. And so it's on 4 different days, 2 hours each class. And then I have an advanced beginner intermediate, which is a 2-day class, and each class is 2 hours. And then for the people that know how to play and they just want to get into strategy, I have a strategies class, which is a 2-hour, it's an individual class. I do it just for individuals.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of variety there. So, So some of the skills that I'm hearing is that someone took a passion of theirs, Debbie, and turned it into a business, and has an entire school built around her passion. And that's happiness, right? I mean, that's just pure love. And especially right now, she's bringing her gift to us when we're all sequestered, all in quarantine. And like I said, maybe some of us can kind of start to get out. I know I'm in Broward County, so we're still in quarantine. You can't go here, you can't go there. But other cities or states, or even your friends across the country. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you've got friends on Facebook that you think would love to learn about Mahjong, email Debbie at Debbie, at mahjongteacher1@gmail.com. So I think that's pretty cool. I just think it's totally fun, especially for right now, to give everybody a little bit of lighten up time.
And
right?
The neat thing is that you could learn with friends or family all over the country. I have a mother who gave her 3 boys a Christmas present. The 3 boys live in different places, and they all took the class together. And now they get to play online during this time together. So it's it's opens up a lot of doors for people that
and what a neat way to bring people together, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, especially when we're isolated. So Debbie, thank you. This was really fun to learn.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And you guys, the replay will be up. I'll send it out tomorrow. I do not know what happened with my internet earlier on. I know Debbie was saying she noticed I was having weak bars. So I don't know. I've never had it happen. Or at least be live. If I get cut off like from a rainstorm, it automatically comes back on. And tonight it didn't. So it should be fine with what we've got. And I'll probably upload this to YouTube as well, so you guys can make sure you can get in touch with Debbie. And as always, you can get in touch with me. Either go to my website, transformingyourtomorrows.com, or jenipcoach@gmail.com. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. Thank you, Debbie, again. I loved it. I loved learning more about Mahjong.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. And listen, you guys out there, just stay safe, have fun, give Debbie a try, and learn Mahjong. All right. Until next week. Bye.